when you're dealing with people, you have to kind of get into their mind or get into their world, which is something that's so commonly talked about, of like try to see from their perspective. But we do that for like a second, and then it's back to like, yeah, but I know how to do this thing, so just do what I'm saying. It's like, okay, but you're not sitting in that long enough. It's like everybody is a Venn diagram. We're all overlapping in certain ways, but we have this giant section of our own individual of experiences and everything that you can't take one person and give them this advice and take another person and give them the same advice and expect both of them to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Or get the same result even. They're two completely different people. And I think that's, I don't know. I haven't thought about this enough clearly, but it seems like when communicating to people, the more I'm able to get out of what I think and what I think is the answer and all that kind of stuff, and really try to, okay, how do they see the world? Like what things have we talked about before, and what are their responses to that, and what are their responses right now, and what do I know about them as far as like what they like to do for health, exercise, like their diet, their sleep, like all of these things, and what are their beliefs typically? How do I now communicate to that person so that they will understand what I'm talking about and think that I have their best interests at heart, and like I'm working with them.
Yeah.
You know, somebody that's not exercising and I'm like, you need to start strength training 3 times a week. It's like that person's never picked up a dumbbell in their life, and all of their exercise has either been on the treadmill or like a yoga class. Why would they do what I'm saying? I'm not connecting with them about what they like or enjoy or what their life has been so far at all. It's like, I would be better off going, have you thought about Pilates? It's very similar to yoga. It's got a little bit more of an intensity than yoga. The treadmill, it's kind of maybe even a little cardio thing going on for you. That seems more in your wheelhouse. Maybe adventure to that, because the goal is to maybe get them to doing what I want them to do, but you're trying to go from point A to Z. And it's like, they need to go A to B. They need to go to A to like A and a half, you know, like it's got to
like
be a progression.
A shade of A.
Yeah. But that's just the, you know, health and whatever example, to where you talk about anything with people. How are you connecting or getting on their level when you're so only thinking about what you think about ever? Like, that's kind of the definition of being closed-minded.
Yeah.
Is you're only ever thinking about what you think. It's like, maybe get into their head a little bit and into their life and try to think about, okay, what is this like, who is this person? What is my image of this person? That's the whole thing that I love about my family, is we're so funny because we figure out what you think is funny.
Yeah.
And we figure that out, and then we just do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I think it's that funny, but it's the goal is to make you laugh.
Yes.
So we do.
I love when Carly does it. She'll send me stuff. He's like, I feel like you'd think this is funny. It's like spot on every single time.
Yes.
And no one else would find this funny.
Yeah.
Like, she might not even find this funny, but she'll tell me, like, I feel like you'd like this. Like, yeah, of course you know I would like this. And don't tell this to anybody else, because they would be like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get exactly what you're talking about.
And it's like, okay, now take that small example, but just do it with everything. That's where I'm starting to get to. I'm like, you could probably find a conversation with anybody that you would enjoy too. It might be exhausting because you're only talking about what they want to talk about, but like, if I'm kind of going like, if I can figure out what you think is funny and do that a lot, why can't I figure out what you think is interesting and talk about that with you? And that'd also be fun for me, because it's really fun for me to make people laugh. But doing that with that, and then what do you think is interesting? Okay, what do we, like, you say you want certain health goals. Okay, how do I do that with you with that and figure that out? Rather than just being so about whatever I think and then just spewing that out. It's like, everybody knows I'm in the world. I don't need to constantly prove to you that I'm still here by saying, this is what I think. This is what like, you should do this. You should do that. It's like, you know I'm here. That's fine. But how are you actually helping them?
Mm-hmm.
Get into their head or their life and then try to be, it's like, be their subconscious with telling them all the time, but be the outside perspective version of that.
Yep.
So you can go, hey, I'm seeing all these things and noticing this of you. Is this something that would be helpful? Rather than going like, well, I heard from Joe Blow that you're supposed to do 3 exercises a day and this and that, whatever. It's like, okay, that's just what you think, but is this person going to apply it or do anything with that?
Right.
It's so all over the place, but that's something that I realized a lot this last week.